Good afternoon, good evening. Excuse the mess behind me. It's a little bit bedlam at the moment. So hope whatever you're doing is going well. And we are going to talk today about reverse marketing. So what do we mean by reverse marketing? When I started on the internet many years ago, the number of emails people were receiving was very small. Now, we are going to talk about email marketing next session. And email is still a very, very effective marketing tool. Let's be honest. It's a very, very effective marketing tool. The reason we know this is the likes of Netflix, Macy's, and all these big companies still email. And what you want to do is you want to basically be able to use all of the touch points in your communication funnel with your customer. And what I mean by that is you want to be able to use social media. You want to be able to use email. And in some cases, depending on the value of your product, you actually want to use post. Because the interesting thing is in today's market is you're receiving on average 145 emails a day. So we will talk about how you get your emails open on the next session. So don't worry about that. You know, and autoresponders and why you should have autoresponders and all of that type of stuff. All that good stuff. So the reality is that you need to have a reverse marketing campaign. So in other words, if I gather a lead at an event like I did recently, okay, I will then email those people. So I bring them on offline and I contact them online. But depending on the value of your product, I'm also very, very happy to bring people online and then send them a letter in the post. Because on average, you receive 2 to 4 pieces of mail a week now. So imagine the power of that for a second. No, it has to have a value. It has to be the trouble of going to print off, you know, printing labels. There are multiple ways of doing big stuff. We're not going to talk about that because you can do big marketing campaigns. And there's list arbitrage where you can send, especially depending on the world you are, you can actually send in the email address and get the postal address of that person. Unfortunately, not in Ireland, but certainly in the UK and in the States, that's readily available. So you can now actually go off and get someone to give you the email online and then go offline with it. It's just crazy, okay? So the point of this is the value of your product. So reverse marketing works if your product value is a good value. So I'm not going to send $10 or $50 or $120 product by using reverse marketing. It's not, but $1,000, 2,000, and that type of stuff, absolutely. I'm quite happy to do that. So if you look at reverse marketing properly, you take the person online and then you go offline with them. And that can be by post. It can also be by ringing them. High-end value ticket items, a lot of times convert much, much better with a phone call and that personal touch. So again, you bring them online, you get their information, and then you touch base with them. There are sales houses, there are multiple different things. We could do a whole sequence of 25,000 videos on all the strategies you can use. But all I want you to do is examine this for your business. How many of your top customers, your real top customers, you know, we talk about the 20% all of the time. How many of your top customers have you actually sent something to them posted in the last 12 months? And if the answer is nobody, then consider sending them something. A gift, an invite to a private event, anything. Arrange a talk, private talk for your top customers. We'll get an expert in, get an expert on something that they are interested in listening to. So, or a celebrity. A lot of times these people will happily do it not necessarily for money, but for the actual access to the market and for the credibility in the market space. You can invite them to a webinar. It doesn't even have to be an event. You can invite them to something like this, a webinar, where it's a private webinar, but send it by post. It would have such a larger impact by actually reversing it. Or if they come in through an event, sending them an email, they'll look at the email because you'll say, thank you for attending the event. And we'll talk email tactics next session. But it really is about thinking about how do I get my top customers, my top prospects, and get them to engage with me. And social media obviously is part of that. So messaging them on social media. You now have chatbots. You can go to Chat Fuel and look at that, right? I don't want to go too high end on it, but there are loads of different things, and you just get onto the mechanics again to get this set up. You can actually get letters printed by a printer. No, because digital printing is so cheap, you can get a personalized letter printed and sent off. Okay? You can actually get a personalized letter printed and sent off to people. Imagine that for very, very small money. It's got to be worth it. So as I said, you're not going to do this for a pint of milk, right? You can do this for an actual reasonably high-end product, 500 quid upwards. So if you've got property or auctioneering or something, let's say you're looking for landlords. Imagine finding out, getting somebody to come online, subscribe to a form, give you their full address, and then send them out, a book, an actual printed report, and actually send it to them in paper. And it comes in the post. Now, it's got to be worth it. I keep saying this. It's got to be worth it value-wise, okay? And excuse me. It's got to be worth it value-wise. It's got to have the financial value in it to do this. But if you're in a high-end business, then think about going high-end. Sending these guys, I'm not necessarily saying to prospects, but if you have pre-qualified a prospect and you've got them into a good situation, sending them something. So, for example, if I'm doing quotations, sending them the quote by post, actually printing out the quote and giving them the quote in the post, makes sense with a brochure. Delivering that and going, meeting them and making the close. That's what I mean about reverse marketing. It's bring them online, get them online, take them offline. Get them offline, take them online. Get them on an email, contact them on social media, connect with them on social media. There's a lot of plugins that you can get for your for Gmail, if you're using Gmail, where you can actually know what the report is, one of them, R-A-P-P-O-R-T, R-A-P-P-O-T-I-V-E, reportive. You can actually use reportive and it'll tell you the person's social profiles, and you can connect with them on social media and then message them. So, hi, thanks very much for coming on. Boom, boom. We got your inquiry. We're just reaching out to you here just to tell you that, boom, 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 boom. And look, this is who I am, or this is who the company are. And we're here and we care, and we can contact you on any of the platforms that you want me to connect with you on. For me to connect with you in a way that you want me to talk with you, rather than the way I believe that you should talk to me. And you're also doing the unexpected. And doing the unexpected from marketing and from a perceived service value is absolutely colossal. Because just think about that for a second. If you actually do this and you show somebody that you care and you reach out to them in different ways, again, high value ticket, because you're spending time, you're investing time and effort into this. Imagine what happens. So if you have, say, a consultancy business, have you sent a letter to your client saying, hi, boom, 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 Grant, you haven't been in a while, we haven't seen you in a while, so obviously what we did was great. I would love to get on the phone with you and just to see you doing okay. Or ring them up and say hi. Ringing sometimes is intrusive, and a lot of times today, when the mobile rings, we actually get quite annoyed about it. I do anyhow. So it's a case of looking at that and how do you use it. So the challenge is to sit down today and look at reverse marketing for your top end clients. The one that are going to give you the most money are the prospects that you believe are going to give you the most money. So if you have a PDF book, go get it printed. You can go and get it outsourced, look up printing, get it printed and send it to someone. Could you imagine sending a book? It's one of the things I'm in the process of creating at the moment is the Digitize or Die book. And I'm talking to publishers at the moment in relation to it. But then I want to send that book actually out to people that I want to do business with. So they get the book. what happens? I'm a perceived expert straight away because I've written a book. I must be an expert. I've written a book. So I created perceived expertise. I've contacted them a way that they weren't quite expecting. And then I'll bring them back on the email and I'll consider talking to them email. I'm not saying you're going to send them a letter every time. I'm just saying on occasion to mix up how you're communicating with people. Give them that little surprise. Because what you want to do all the time is you want to get your head popping up to say, hello, we're still here. We're in business. We want to do more business with you. And if you were motivation for doing it, we're now 21 years in business. Hi, thanks very much. Here's a fridge magnet. Here's a key ring. Here's a this. Here's a that. All of that stuff still works with your top end clients. So that's what reverse marketing is contacting people, taking them online, taking them offline, taking them offline, taking them online, emailing them, contacting them on social media, and contacting them in a way that is unexpected by them. Not intrusive, not obnoxious, but in a way that is unexpected by them. Because, how many times have you walk into a place, or you're on holidays, for example, you're walking down the road and you see a neighbor. Now that neighbor has been passing you for 15 years and has been walking up and down and walking past you for 15 years. And what's been happening is they keep walking past you. And then all of a sudden, you're out on the promenade in Spain or in Atlanta or wherever, and you're walking down the road, and all of a sudden, what happens? You see the neighbor, and you go, what are you doing here? Oh my God, and you stop and have a conversation with them, where you can go for a beer. That's what you want to do. You want to create that surprise. Next session is email marketing. Talk to you then. Take care.